The hope that haunts you. They left. And now, somehow they're already with someone else. You're still picking up the pieces and they're on dates. Posting smiles. Acting like you never existed. And you're stuck in the question that won't leave you alone. Should I wait for them? Is this new person real or just a rebound? What if they come back and I'm not here? If you've ever found yourself hoping, hurting, or holding on while they move on fast, this video is for you. Because waiting for someone who walked away, especially when they've jumped into something new, can either be a powerful pause for love, or a painful prison that keeps you stuck in a story they've already stopped telling. In this video, we're breaking down what rebound relationships really are, from a psychological lens, the truth about why they seem fine while you're still healing, whether waiting ever leads to reconnection, or just regret, and most importantly, how to protect your energy, your worth, and your peace. Because this isn't just about your ex, it's about your heart, your future, and making the decision that serves your healing, not their hesitation. Let's dive in. What rebounds really are psychologically. So your ex left. And within what felt like minutes, they were already with someone new. Maybe it's someone you never expected. Maybe it's someone they said not to worry about. Maybe they're already posting, kissing, traveling, as if they were never broken at all. And here you are, still hurting, still hoping, still wondering. Was I just that easy to replace? How can they be fine while I'm still in pieces? The answer starts with one uncomfortable but freeing truth. Most rebounds are not real relationships. They're emotional coping mechanisms. The rebound defined. A rebound is when someone enters a new romantic connection before they've emotionally processed or integrated their last one. To the outside world, it looks like moving on. But in reality, it's more like emotional anesthesia. They're not healing. They're numbing. What's really driving the rebound? Let's get under the hood, because rebounds aren't usually about you. They're about them, and their inability to sit with emotional discomfort. Here's what most rebounds are actually made of. Emotional avoidance. Breakups are supposed to trigger grief, reflection, sadness, discomfort, but many people aren't emotionally equipped to sit in that silence, so instead of facing their own pain, they outsource comfort to someone new. The rebound isn't a partner, it's a shield, fear of emptiness. Rebounds often start fast because silence feels like death. They don't want to be alone, not because they crave connection, but because they can't handle what shows up when no one's texting, calling, validating. Being alone forces self-confrontation, and that's terrifying if you've never learned how to be with your own emotions. Validation seeking. The breakup shook them. Even if they initiated it, it left a crack in their self-worth. So they seek a mirror, someone who will quickly reflect back that they're still desirable. But it's not love they're looking for, it's proof that they're still enough. Cycle repeat. Unconscious patterning. Most people don't rebound for the first time. They rebound because that's their pattern. They don't know how to break up with someone and be alone. So their emotional dependency simply jumps hosts, from you to someone else. The brain chemistry of a rebound. Rebounds feel intense because of what's happening neurochemically. Dopamine spikes from novelty, oxytocin from physical touch, adrenaline from excitement and secrecy, cortisol temporarily suppressed by distraction. But when the chemicals wear off, so does the illusion. Why do rebounds usually collapse? Well, they're built on pain avoidance, not partnership. They rely on speed, not stability. And they're based on fantasy, not foundation. Eventually, emotional triggers resurface. The grief they skipped catches up. The new person starts to feel off because they were never truly seen, just needed. But can rebounds become real? Yes, but it's rare. And it only happens when the rebounder becomes emotionally aware. Time and space are created to grieve the past. The new connection is rooted in mutual vulnerability, not emotional anesthesia. So, should you wait for your ex just because they're in a rebound? Only if you're willing to wait on someone who's currently running from themselves. They're not better off, they're just temporarily distracted. So your ex is with someone new. They seem happy, maybe even happier than they were with you, and it messes with your head. But before you spiral into self-doubt or wait around for something that might not last, look for the patterns. Because rebounds follow a very specific emotional formula, and once you see it clearly, you'll stop romanticizing what isn't real. Here are the biggest signs their new relationship is just a rebound. 1. It moved too fast, too soon. They jumped in right after the breakup, maybe within days or weeks. They're saying I love you, planning trips, posting selfies non-stop. Fast isn't always fake. But fast after a breakup often means they're avoiding, not aligning. 2, it's performative. They're suddenly all over social media, tagging, sharing, smiling wide. This isn't connection, it's perception management. They're trying to convince the world, and themselves, that they're fine. 3, they're still monitoring or contacting you. They're in something new, but they're liking your stories, texting you randomly, asking mutual friends how you're doing. If they were fulfilled, they wouldn't be looking back. 4, there's no depth. They don't talk about shared values, emotional connection, or personal growth. It's all physical, aesthetic, or fun. Rebounds tend to stay on the surface, because emotional vulnerability would force them to feel what they're trying to avoid. 5, they copy-paste the past. They take this new person to your favorite spots. They reuse nicknames. They follow the same patterns from your relationship, but with someone new. That's not moving on. That's replicating routine to avoid feeling lost. If you're seeing these signs, here's the key message. It's not love, it's a survival strategy. And if you're sitting here wondering whether to wait, ask yourself this: do I want to be someone's peace or their emotional crutch? Let's get honest. Waiting sounds noble, romantic, even spiritual. If it's meant to be, it will be. I'll wait. Maybe they'll realize we just need time. But waiting, when it's not based in mutual clarity or healthy pause, becomes something else entirely. Self-abandonment disguised as hope. You're not just waiting, you're postponing your healing. You're rehearsing conversations that aren't happening, reading into posts that aren't about you, pausing your life in case they realize what they lost. But while you're holding space for them, who's holding space for you? Let's name it. 1. It traps you in emotional limbo. You're not moving forward. You're not fully letting go. You're living in maybes, not in reality. Every new connection feels like betrayal. Every step forward feels like you're abandoning the past, even though they've already abandoned you. 2. It delays your healing timeline by months or years. Psychologically, every moment spent waiting for someone to return delays the emotional detachment process, keeps the grief loop active, disrupts your ability to rewire identity outside the relationship. You don't process the ending, you just postpone it. 3. It lowers your self-worth in real time. Every day you wait for someone who isn't choosing you, you teach your body that your needs come second. You normalize neglect. You internalize rejection. You start to believe, maybe I'm only lovable if I stay available for people who leave. That's not love, that's emotional starvation. 4. It turns hope into a mental addiction. Waiting creates a neurological loop of obsession, rumination, fantasy, disappointment, repeat. And the longer you stay there, the harder it becomes to tell the difference between intuition and trauma bonding. The myth of one day they'll come back. Yes, people do come back, but ask yourself, do you want them back, or do you want to stop hurting? Do you miss the relationship, or the version of you who felt safe inside it? Are you truly hoping for reconciliation, or just afraid of starting over alone? The hardest truth? Sometimes waiting becomes a way of avoiding your own healing. It gives you something to focus on, so you don't have to focus inward. Because letting go means facing grief, anger, shame, emptiness, and all of that is heavy. But you know what's heavier? Living inside a love that's already ended while pretending it still might come back. So what do? You choose reality. You stop chasing closure from someone who ran. You stop romanticizing their rebound as proof of your replaceability. You stop watching their stories like they're still part of yours. Because you have a new chapter to write, and waiting around is not part of the plot. Let this be the moment you stop holding your breath for a love that already exhaled. Could they come back? Yes, but let's sit with the question that echoes the loudest after a breakup. What if they come back? They might. It happens all the time. Rebounds crash, regret surfaces, the silence gets loud, and they start remembering. And yes, some people do return. But here's the truth most people aren't ready to hear. Just because someone comes back doesn't mean they've changed. And it definitely doesn't mean they're right for you. Waiting for a return is like watching the door, while your future waits behind you. So before you attach hope to a hypothetical, let's break this all the way down. Why do exes come back? They don't always come back because of love. Sometimes it's something else entirely. 1. Loneliness, not love. The rebound ended. Their freedom wasn't as freeing as they imagined. Now they're feeling empty. And you represent safety. They come back, not for partnership, but for emotional comfort. 2. Guilt, not growth. They feel bad, they realize they hurt you. Maybe you were better than they gave you credit for, but guilt isn't the same as readiness. It's an emotional reaction. not a relational repair. 3. Ego, not intention. They see you doing better, they get jealous. They wonder if you've moved on. They reach out to confirm you're still available, not to offer healing, just to feed their need for control. 4. Nostalgia, not reality. They remember the good times, the inside jokes, the routine, the way you cared. But nostalgia has a way of editing the truth. They miss a moment, not the meaning. Now here's what you must ask yourself. If they come back, what version of themselves are they bringing? The avoidant one? The emotionally unavailable one? The one who didn't fight for you the first time? Because if nothing has changed, then it's not reconciliation. It's repetition. And what about you? Are you ready to re-enter with boundaries, not just butterflies? Can you see them clearly? Not through the lens of loneliness? Do you trust yourself to ask hard questions, not just accept fast apologies? Because if you're still in a fragile place, even the idea of them returning could derail your progress. A return is meaningful only if they've taken full accountability. They've grown through therapy, reflection, or real emotional work. They express clear, consistent intention, not vague checking in. They respect your healing, even if it means you don't take them back. And if they do come back, but you've healed in the meantime, you'll finally see them for what they are, not what you hoped they'd become. That's the moment you reclaim your power. So yes, they might come back, but your life can't be built on maybe someday. It has to be built on your standards, your peace. How to heal instead of wait. By now you've probably felt the pull. Maybe I should just hang on a little longer. But healing doesn't happen in the waiting, it happens in the rebuilding. And that means shifting your energy away from them and back into you. Here's how to start healing without waiting. How to heal instead of wait. Super expanded version. So here you are. They've moved on. Or at least it looks like they have. You're in the in-between. Not together, not totally over it, just suspended in what-ifs and what-could-have-beens. And somewhere deep down, the question lingers, should I wait just a little longer? It's human to feel that way, to hope, to fantasize that maybe they'll realize, maybe they'll come back. But here's the truth, the one that will set you free. Waiting is not healing. Waiting is not loving. Waiting is not growing. It's pausing your life in service of a person who's no longer choosing to be part of it. Shift the frame. Waiting is not loyalty. It is self-abandonment. Every day you wait for someone who left, you teach your heart that it's okay to put someone else's journey ahead of your own. But love, real love, should never require you to disappear just to stay available. So how do you shift? Here's a blueprint for true forward-moving healing. 1. Go no contact, radically and completely. Not as revenge, not to manipulate, but to protect your nervous system. Every time you check their profile, reread messages, or wait for a hey, you reopen the wound. Go no contact, not to hurt them, but to start helping you. Mute them. Unfollow. Stop asking friends for updates. Remove the subtle reminders. This is the boundary where your healing begins. 2. Rewrite the story with brutal honesty. Waiting thrives in fantasy. Your brain wants to remember the good, but healing begins when you face the full truth of what happened. So journal it out. What did they actually say or do when they left? How did they show up in conflict? Did they truly see and value you? Or did you shrink to be loved? Let the truth speak louder than the highlight reel in your head. 3. Rebuild identity, beyond the partner role. Heartbreak often strips you of your sense of self. Who were you before the relationship? What did you love doing? What made you come alive? Now is your moment to come home to that version of you. Take the class, change the room, dress in a way that reflects your power. Say yes to opportunities without factoring in what if they come back. Don't rebuild for them. Rebuild for the version of you that lost herself. 4. Regulate the emotional body, not just the mind. You don't just miss them mentally. You miss them somatically. Their voice, their presence, the routine. That means healing must be embodied, not just understood. Daily practices to regulate. Breathwork, especially exhale focus to calm anxiety. EFT tapping on grief, movement, yoga, strength training, walking, touch, even self-hugging or massage, to meet the nervous system's craving for safety. 5. Anchor to growth metrics, not closure. Stop measuring your progress by, do they miss me? Have they reached out? Are they still with the rebound? Instead, track, did I show up for myself today? Did I avoid checking their profile? Did I speak kindly to myself in my journal? Did I choose expansion over obsession? This is your metric now, self-respect over reconnection. 6. Create a vision beyond the breakup. Your life isn't waiting to begin when they come back. It's already in motion, if you'll step into it. Visualize a future where you are fulfilled, Loved deeply, respected, seen, chosen without hesitation. And ask yourself, would the version of me I'm becoming even want them back? 7. Turn the weight into the becoming. You're not stuck, you're in transit. From who you were with them to who you'll be without them. Every moment you invest in yourself, you make the version of you they knew irrelevant to the person you're becoming. That's healing. That's power. That's how you stop waiting and start rising. Final message. Love them or leave them, but choose you first. Maybe you still love them. Maybe a part of you always will. That's okay. You don't have to hate them to heal. You don't have to pretend they meant nothing. You don't have to erase the memories or silence the ache. But you do have to make one decision. The decision that changes everything. Will I keep waiting for someone who walked away? Or will I start walking toward myself? Waiting feels loyal, but it can also be a slow surrender of your power. And the danger of waiting is this: you're no longer grieving the relationship, you're grieving the idea of what could still be, while your life quietly waits on pause. But what if you chose you, fully, unapologetically, right now? What if, instead of sitting by the door hoping they'd return, you walked through a new one, and found more of yourself on the other side? Because the truth is, you are still lovable, even if they didn't stay. You are still worthy, even if they couldn't see it. You are still whole, even if they left with parts of your story. And if they ever do come back, let them find a version of you who didn't just survive, but evolved. Let them meet the version of you who no longer needs their validation, because you found value in your own voice, in your boundaries, in your healing, in your stillness, in your truth. And if they never come back, let that be the door that stays closed. So something real, aligned, and whole can finally walk through. So here's what you do now. Don't text. Don't wait. Don't beg the universe for a sign. Instead, sit with yourself. Cry if you need to, then rise. Begin again. Comment below. I choose myself, fully and finally. Let that be your anchor. Let that be your next chapter. Subscribe and like if you're ready to stop waiting and start healing. For real this time. Because this isn't just the end of a relationship. It's the beginning of your return to yourself. And that's not the end of your story. That's the best part of it.